Hello, welcome to another episode of Gear Talk. I just wanted to go through my newest pedal board for the 2024 season. I've been running some gear trials and tribulations just to start my year. I've had a little bit of downtime from the gigs, playing here and there and doing a lot of studio work, but usually around this time, January, February, I have an opportunity just to kind of reset my signal chains for the year. So yeah, I've been pretty inspired by Michael Landau, Steve Lukather and that kind of thing. So I've got the blues and roots and country pedal boards kind of sorted, and this one just gives me a few more options. So I might just give you a look at this one. Excuse me while I manhandle the phone. So that's my new pedal board there. So just running from start to end, I've got the Way Huge Overdrive, which is just kind of waking up the amp and giving me kind of the top end that I might like, depending on the room or the amp that I'm using. And then I've got the Maxon SD9, that's the Analog Man mod. The Penny Saver Royale, which I'm using the lead boost there, which I believe is the Overdrive Special, Overrated Special, I think is what it's called. And the Blue Hippo is in there as well. And then I've got Vibe Machine and the Tremolo tuner running there. And then I've got a buffer on the way out. And then I've been using the Fractal FM3 for all my, delays and reverbs. So this rig is designed to either run mono just into one amp, or dual mono, in which case I can do a splitter box, an AB, running into 2 amps, and then I've got the wet-dry thing going on, which is cool, and I'm enjoying that, even if it's sort of overkill for most of the venues that I play. But yeah, I kind of just like having an extravagant option if the mood takes me, if the spirit moves me, so I can just kind of run, my ideal rig if I'm feeling motivated for that sort of bump in, or I've got kind of the grab and go boards as well. So today I'm just brought out my 91 Ibanez FP77, which is a glorious guitar, and for those who know, these are usually a 5-way selector. And I love the single coil tones in this, I really do. But I've just tried a different idea to kind of Les Paulify this guitar. I kind of found that the neck and the bridge sounds were fantastic for leads, but I kind of struggled with clean rhythm tones on this one. Not that I don't like the single coil tones, I certainly do, but there was just a significant drop in volume between the humbucker and those kind of split positions, 2, 3, and 4. So I find I'm usually taking 2 guitars to gigs and sessions anyway. So I've just decided to put a 3-way pickup selector in this one. So now I've just got that middle position, which I always felt I was needing. And it's just sort of that classic, combined 2 pickup configuration. And I've just bypassed all the single coil tones really in this. I can go back to it, if and when I choose. But for the time being, I'm kind of enjoying just having that as an option, because it's giving me just a steady bass line with my decibels, and then I've got my bridge and neck tones, just kind of depending on where my solo is taking me. So anyway, without further ado, let me just take it from start to finish. Got some reverb coming from the Fender Deluxe there, and I'm not running any of the delays or anything right now, so hopefully it gives you a sense just of kind of the basic tones, the fundamentals, and then I can add all the trails and stuff depending. And I've got the expression pedal there with the FM3, so I can just blend in the mix to taste on the delays. I've got a slap back, and then I've got sort of a long modulated kind of thing, and then just a standard sort of digital delay trail as well. So yeah, I got a few options there depending on what the song needs, or what's going on at the time. So that's just running in the middle, and that's the overdrive, which I believe was called the Saucy Box. So I actually find, and maybe it's all the cables, and maybe it's this old Boss FV300L, which I'm sentimental about, but I lose a bit of top end and everything, but I find I can just get that back with my buffers and with other pedals and their EQ. So I've got the drive pretty much completely off with the overdrive here. So that's without, and then so that gives me the brightness that I was missing, and just kind of wakes the amp up. I will dial back significantly, especially with this guitar, because these super distortions are pretty hot. So that'll kind of be my bassline tone there, you know. And then from there, I've got, you know, the Maxon SD9, which is really dynamic, but can, you know, get pretty hairy depending on where the volume is set here. So this kind of board allows me, I feel, to do more from the controls on the guitar, which is where I'm sort of going with a lot of my rigs now. Yeah, just kind of having that dynamic option just on my volume pot. Just kind of keeps my head in the game a little bit more, and I feel I'm not kind of needing to step on a pedal for each sort of gain stage. It just feels a little bit more natural to me as it kind of tapers in and out. But anyway, so if I was just doing kind of a bluesy thing, I would bypass the SD9 for now and just go straight to that overdrive. So I can set the frequency and everything on that one. So that's kind of just, you know, the old blues licks sound when I don't want to get too over the top, but just, you know, have a bit of a mid-focused lead tone, which just can get over the top of a solo section. But then with the Maxon SD9, for me it's sort of fuzzy, but I don't know, it just kind of has that rich sort of harmonic overtone character, and great sustain as well. This one sort of allows me to dial in the mid-range, which I've left kind of scooped to my ear, and then I'll fill that out with overdrive, you know, just to kind of complement those EQs there. So volumes on 6, now 4. Back to 6. And now 8. And then 10. So it's got a lot of heat, but I can just use that volume pot as well to kind of make sure that I'm fitting into the band mix nicely. And then on top of that, if I want to just go, you know, the full shred, then I can kick in that overdrive special on there as well. there's usually a moment where I'd want to go there. That won't be every solo and on every song, but it's nice to have the option there just for that sort of high gain. But for me with that SD9, there's just a lot of clarity of the original guitar. I don't know what's going on in there with, you know, clean blends and dry signals and stuff, but I've always found that one just brings out kind of the woody timbre of whatever guitar I'm plugging into. Probably doesn't come through on the iPhone and all that, and maybe I've sort of tripped the limiters and compressors with the dB there, but anyway, I really like that combination, and yeah, the Maxon is playing nicely on its own, and then stacks well with that Penny Saber Royale too. But anyway, just onto some modulation stuff now. So I'll just go back to that clean kind of sound. So then I've got the Blue Hippo there. Sort of that faux Leslie kind of idea. If I just want to kind of get wobbly. So it's sort of Landau-esque. I know he was using the Blue Hippo Mark II for a while, but this one is dialed in more for Bonamassa's tastes. That's his collaboration with George Trips, I think. And yeah, I kind of had it in the collection, hoping for a moment where I could break it out and use it on a pedal board. And yeah, it's you know, it's saving me an extra power supply, but also just working really nicely with my other gain stages there. So yeah, anyway, that's the Blue Hippo, and from there I've got the volume pedal. So all my drives are before the volume pedal, and then I can, you know, keep whatever is happening on the input side of those pedals and kind of drive it to the right sort of distortion flavors that I'm going for, and then the volume pedal I can just kind of you know, be a little bit more nuanced with, you know, where I'm sitting decibel wise. After that, I've got the Vibe Machine, which is cool. And also, you know, if I've got quite a hot sound, I can tidy it up quite nicely with the Vibe Machine. It just tames a lot of that, you know, aggressive, distorted tone. Yeah, it just sounds nice kind of after the drive pedals too. So I'm enjoying that. I mean, I might flick that on, you know, twice a night or something, but that's cool. And then the other one that I have just got into is the MXR tremolo. I've been a Boss TR2 guy forever. And I love that pedal. I've tried lots of tremolo pedals over the years, but I always come back to that Boss TR2. But I am digging this one, and it's got a lot of options with, you know, bias, optic tremolo, and harmonic tremolo and stuff. I think I'm just sitting on like a bias trem at the moment, but for me, that's kind of like the one sort of modulated tone that I really like. I miss tremolo when I don't have it. And just as it worked out, the tuner is kind of sitting after all those other effects, just with where I had it on the board, and a bit of that had to do with the Penny Saber Royale, which is a big unit and could really only go in one spot on the pedal train there. And then lastly, I've got the Boost line driver from Custom Audio, which is another MXR product, and I just sort of wanted something to drive the back end of the signal chain as well. It's not sitting on much, maybe 5 dB or something. It's just got a 9 o'clock on the dial there. But yeah, I really noticed the integrity of the signal, especially in the top end, is there because of that one. I like the idea of the Jack White Double Down, I think it's called, the MXR Micro Boost with the twin output. So I might test that against the boost line driver there, because I like the idea of being able to split my signal there and go to 2 amps. Which at the moment I'm using one of the radial ABY boxes, which is cool, but it's just sort of one more thing which I, can probably do without if I can fit it into that spot there. But anyway, I hope that's of interest to some of the gear nerds out there. It's playing really nicely with this guitar. It's playing really nicely with my Kinman Strat. And yeah, that's the new pedalboard. I haven't tried it on a gig yet, so that'll be kind of the next stage of trial and error. But it's sounding really good here. And yeah, I think once I run a few gigs through it, and yeah, just sort of learn how to use the gear and how it's all kind of interacting, then yeah, I'm quite happy with the tones that I've got going on at the moment. Sort of that Landau Lukather inspiration. Yeah, got the articulation, but there's, sort of compressing in the right ways, sustaining in the right ways, but still giving the clarity of my instruments, and not too complicated that I feel like I'm sort of losing the flow of the music I'm making. It's all just kind of happening naturally, which is yeah, always a good thing. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll get back into some of the song tutorials and things, but this has been the season where I've just been adjusting all my gear, and yeah, I think the YouTube videos have just been following suit. So hope you're well, and talk to you again soon. Okay, bye.